es para mí un gozo estar con ustedes. All of it is not You see, I can do business with you, I can teach high school. I can do a lot of things. When it comes to speaking to my Father, I speak to him in Spanish. And when I talk about him, I have an attitude. When I talk about him, he found me when I was 12 years old. My father had left my mom, and she had kind of worked very hard on the other side of the border to get us across to this side of the border. And in the process of looking for a better life, we found that you can only have a better life when you have a God that provides you. I was born in a little town in the middle of Mexico that if I pronounce it, you're not going to be able to say it, so I was going to tell you. And when I was a month old, my parents brought me to the border of the other side of Delaware, Texas, where I lived until I was 12 years old. And the Lord called me to the ministry when I was 14. Somehow God brought me to Tulsa because I married a young lady. When I was in college, I found where she found me. I don't know how that worked anymore. But we've been married for 25 years, and she's with me, and my kids are here also. Got married. But I'm here standing on the shoulders of giants. Some are obviously pressing around me. I appreciate the work that has been done in my life. At the time when my mom was trying to get us across the border, we crossed over the bridge, by the way. When you live in the border, you have access, but it's limited. You cannot come and stay. But one of those times my mom was pregnant when he showed up, and when she went back to Mexico, she had a little brother who was born in the United States, and I thank God for my brother Juan. Which one? The one that my mom had. And after that, 2 more. And so I'm the oldest of 7. And my brother Juan lives in North Carolina, is married, and all of us married beautiful blonde young ladies. Except the one in New Orleans, he married a redhead.
You married what?
What I'm going to tell you is our vision, our dream is the same dream and the same vision that we've been talking about. It's something that God has placed in the heart and the mind of men to reach for a better day and a better tomorrow. Something that God placed there because it's there. It was God's idea from the beginning that all men are created equal.
Amen.
It was God's idea from the beginning that we can get along.
Amen.
God's idea from the beginning that there is a future for people that are able to put up with difficult people like we are. And my wife has done that for 25 years. My children have put up with me, depending on their age, put up with me for different periods of time. And you're putting up with me for about 10 minutes. It's about all we can handle sometimes. When I see what is happening today, I can sense in my spirit, in my heart, in my mind, this is a beautiful moment. This is a beautiful time. And why not Washington? Why here? Because for some reason, I discovered that God has Tulsa in a very important part of his heart. I believe that Tulsa is in God's heart because I think he wants to show the rest of this government, the rest of this world, the rest of this country, that there's something here that other people around the world and around this country would wish they could have. But God has given it to us. Somehow God has chosen this city and the people from this city to be a shining beacon, a shining light, something special. I come to some of your meetings and I sit and try to be quiet and not make a lot of noise. But when the eyes are on the sparrow, and I know he watches me, he's looking at me, I know that when my first pastor and my father in the faith taught me that song, he told me a story. And he shared this story, and I don't know how accurate and where he got it from. But he used to tell the story of a single mom in New York City that had no money to take care of her children. And on a certain day, on a cold winter day, she and her children are placed outside of their apartment, not knowing what tomorrow will hold. And in that situation, the single mom and her children began to sing that song that I'm about to try to sing. Of course, I learned it in Spanish, but since it was New York City, I'm pretty sure it was in English. And so when you guys began to sing that song, I had to sing it out. And when I think of all the bad news that are going on in this country, I'm reminded of the current events that we're looking at, the tremendous human history. And you know, we can orchestrate a lot of things, but God is in control of His story. My life and my story, but His story is not yet complete. And our story is yet to see great and wonderful chapters. And this country has been chosen. This city has been chosen. You have been chosen. God has given each and every one of us a dream because He is the giver of dreams. And God has given us each and every one a dream that fits within the scope and the ideas and ideals that He Himself has chosen to proclaim and explain, sometimes over and over to many of us. I'm telling you, it's time for us to just orchestrate and sink in. And instead of trying to think of something to do and then asking God to just bless it, why not just listen to what it is that God is blessing and just jump in there and let Him have His way and let Him have the final word. I tell you today, as I tell you my story and I share a little bit of my life, I look at this as a little bit of news, and I was sharing this with the church this morning about this airplane that all of us have seen. And about that captain, 155 people, that none of them perished. And I'm reminded of the words of the last man, the one that's sitting way in the back, waiting for the women and the children to get out first. He says he was waiting for his captain. But when he saw the captain, he said, I know He has taken me to His spot, and He is going to take me the rest of the way. And I know He's going to take us the rest of the way.
Amen.
A few years ago, the Hispanic was marching, not because it was a celebration and sing for the Maya, but because 1804 was about to become the law of the state. We believed that God was orchestrating a lot of what was going on. We still believe that the last chapter about the Hispanics of Oklahoma has not yet been written.
Amen. Woo!
Do not forget the Hispanic community
Amen.
of Oklahoma, and especially the Hispanic community of Tulsa.
Amen.
Tulsa has given his heart and his last good years of his life. And last year you gave him an honor and a recognition because he still carries a dream. I tell you today, he's not alone. There's many of us out there, and you're not alone. But more than anything, we're not alone because he will carry us the rest of the way.